Morning. Welcome to Pod Up with Matthews in the morning from the Crime Prevention Security System Studios, large enough to serve you, small
QB.
enough to care.
You're back in the
back.
saddle after assignment. You're the only person in America who had an assignment.
I don't know about that.
Show. Well, everybody's shutting it down, my man.
I know.
Restaurants, bars.
You know, I heard some golf courses have closed. That's ridiculous. I heard Ironwood shut down.
Well, that's city employees, right? So,
okay.
I mean, they're talking about that.
Because I think it's good to go play golf. Get outside.
Listen, and I think that's the whole thing, right? When weather warms up, people kind of tend to less congregate indoors, obviously. And, you know, it's amazing in New England right now, in Foxborough, Massachusetts, they have snow that is going literally sideways, and we're going to hit 88 degrees today with not a cloud in the sky or rain, which I love. So, and it is a snowy, gloomy day in New England, QB. If you are a New England Patriots lover, and you have just witnessed the greatest 20-year run between a coach and a quarterback in NFL history, and you are now very close to within maybe about 30 hours of losing Tom Brady. And that is huge because I know free agency is about all we've got to talk about at this current time, it seems like, because that is currently happening. And this quarterback free agency run this year is spectacular. We've got wide receivers signing record deals. So it's business as usual. In the start of the league year, I mentioned yesterday, I made a mistake. Yesterday was not the start of the league year. Wednesday at 4 p.m. is the start of the league year. Yesterday was the start of the ability for players and other teams to get together and tamper with each other in the free agency market. And QB, here's the big deal. You ready for this? And this is why I brought up New England and how gloomy it could be if they really wanted Tom Brady or if the fans wanted Tom Brady. They essentially have until 4 o'clock tomorrow, the Patriots, to sign Tom Brady. And the reason I say that is because they are about to take a $13.5 million dead cap hit if he is not on their roster. So it essentially gives them very little time to work a deal with Tom Brady. Because if they take that dead cap hit, they're not going to be able to work a 2-year deal with him and give him probably what he wants, which is the max, because they've already signed guys like Slater and Darren McCourty, and they franchise tagged Joe Tooney, and Cal Van Noy went to Miami. So they're making moves, and money is being spent. And the longer this takes, the less money they're going to have for Tom Brady. And you know he's not going to take anything under the highest paid in the league, or at least amongst those. And if they take that dead cap hit, he's not going to New England, bro, because then the only deal they could work out with him would be something like the league minimum, and he's not going to do that in New England. So the clock is ticking on the Patriots to sign Tom Brady for the next year or two. And if they don't do it by Wednesday at 4 p.m., I am almost positive he is going to be playing for another team.
Yeah, and people aren't sure who that other team might be.
Do you want to venture a guess?
Well, it looks like the only potential team that would even be interested in him are the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. There's other teams that they're not even going to be
Well, I have another team.
Who?
The Chargers.
From what I'm hearing, I don't think so.
What are you hearing?
Well, first of all, they're not going to be very good.
Well,
they can't block anybody.
Well, but don't you think they have they're in a tough division, but don't you think it's going to be difficult for Tampa Bay? Are they a good team? I mean, that's the same team.
They got tons of. Oh no, they're way better than.
Well,
the Chargers.
I mean, you've got wide receivers on the Bucs, but you got them on the Chargers too. Keenan Allen.
But you got a very good young defense.
Tampa,
you got a good offensive line. Tampa's a better team. I don't know. Here's the thing.
I don't know.
There's not
LA,
a lot of
Tampa, LA.
But
Tampa.
Here's the thing, JC. I don't think a lot of teams really want him. When you think about it,
why?
Because he's 42 years old.
Well, maybe, but I think there is a sweepstakes for him, and I think somebody is going to sign him. It's not going to be the Oakland Raiders, obviously.
Nope.
They went with Marcus Mariota. I think what you could say here, if you're just taking guesses, that's all we've got right now, right? We're just going to guess and hypothesize and speculate. But I would say, and just hear me out, Brady to the Chargers, makes a big splash in the new stadium in Los Angeles. He's got potentially Melvin Gordon behind him. He's got Keenan Allen and a couple other good wide receivers out there. Mike Williams, right? Okay. You've got Phillip Rivers going to Indianapolis. He would like that because it's indoors, and Frank Reich and Phillip Rivers, I think, would do great together. You've got Teddy Bridgewater. Teddy Bridgewater could be possibly in Tampa Bay. He could also be the Bears. The Bears are showing a lot of interest right now because Matt Nagy is one bad Mitchell Trubisky year away from being on the very hot seat in Chicago. They just signed Jimmy Graham from the Packers, a tight end. So now Matt Nagy needs a quarterback. They have shown interest in Teddy Bridgewater, but they're also looking at Nick Foles of Jacksonville. So Nick Foles could be in the fold for the Chicago Bears, which then becomes, okay, what about Jacksonville? Is Gardner Minshew going to be the guy? This is going to free up a lot of money for them. What are they going to do at the quarterback position? And then with New England, if, like my scenario, it plays out and they don't sign Tom Brady, which, again, they've got until 4 o'clock tomorrow or it's not happening, then who do the Patriots look at? And the only guys I can come up with right now could be Derek Carr, former Raider quarterback.
They're going to have to trade for him, though.
Or how about Jameis Winston, free agent?
That would be interesting.
Jameis Winston. Now, here you are in New England, and you've got 8 feet of snow outside, and you've got the prospect in 27 hours of losing Tom Brady and picking up Jameis Winston. And then you're in Tampa Bay, and you're about to go on your jet ski because Lord knows you're not going to go to the restaurant and work today or probably anywhere else. And social, you got to practice your social distancing. By the way, we are not practicing social distancing.
We need to put up like a glass wall right here.
But the thing, well, I'm not worried about you. You know why? Because you are the greatest social distancer
in the world. I am.
And when it comes to sports events, this guy is the greatest social distancer of all time because his interest in showing up at the stadium is about as much as mine would be to push mow Payne's Prairie with a Toro. Okay, so you are a great social distancer. So I'll just sit closer to you. I'm not. You have to worry about me, not necessarily though. I work in an office, nobody shows up. So the thing is that the Patriots could, or the Buccaneers, go back to my.
Well, the Patriots don't want Tom Brady.
Well, it's not going to happen. So the Bucks are thinking, well, we could possibly land Tom Brady and lower our interception count by about 90% and send Jameis to New England.
That would be interesting. Freddie says on a Facebook Live comment brought to you by Pound Hurt, your preferred personal injury attorney.
Pound Hurt.
He says Brady to the Dolphins.
Well, the Dolphins are making a splash. They got Kyle Van Noy yesterday, big linebacker, great prospect. They got a couple other guys.
Who is penciled in as their starter? Fitzpatrick?
That Freddie brings up a great point.
Fitzpatrick was their starter last year.
He was their
He's played for every team in the league.
Guy. Maybe Teddy Bridgewater looks at him or looks at the Dolphins. I'm interested in what Teddy Bridgewater's going to do because I thought he did a fantastic job for the Saints last year, and he has sat for so long after his debilitating, horrible injury to his leg that he suffered in Minnesota. Speaking of Minnesota, they dumped Stephon Diggs to the Buffalo Bills for some draft picks, some first-rounders, and that basically says, Kyle, or rather Kirk Cousins, you just lost a wide receiver, but here's your new contract, or, we're keeping you. So I don't know. What do you think? What do you think? I think that
I think I'd like to have Stephon Diggs as a wide receiver.
I think I would, and I think Buffalo made a good deal there, even though they're getting rid of some picks. I think they were really close last year, and they were really close by virtue of how good their defense was. And if they can get some points on the board, look at the Buffalo Bills to maybe supplant, if you can imagine, the New England Patriots finally, 3 decades later, in the AFC East.
Yep, you're watching and listening to Pot Up with Matthews in the morning from the Crime Prevention Security System Studios. And if you want to send us a text on the Titan MRI text line, that's 352-353-7465. Also at 8:30, we'll have former Gator Doug Johnson join us, talk about his career a little bit, what he's got going on in the community. We're going to keep moving on here. Even though there's no sports out there,
got
JC,
lots of things, Tom.
We're going to move on.
Well, the NFL is the big story, the free agency deal. The Dolphins, you just mentioned them. They signed Eric Flowers to $20 million. The Vikings, as I mentioned, re-signing Kirk Cousins at $33 million per year. The Texans trading away. Well, we'll get to that in a minute. DeAndre Hopkins to the Cardinals, and the Cowboys are tagging Dak Prescott, which guarantees him around $30 million for 1 year, and it also means that. And also Derrick Henry of Tennessee is franchise tagged as.
Did you see where your guys? They're trying to trade your guy, your running back, Todd Gurley.
Well, I mean, the knee, man. I mean, he had one really, really great year. This is the year of the Super Bowl, and then he faded at the end. And the year before that, he was really good. But you know what they say about running backs, QB? And this is the thing. Dallas gives Zeke all this money. Running backs don't last. No. And some of that guaranteed money to running backs, you got to wonder, what's Jerry doing? What in the hell is he doing signing somebody like that for the kind of money he signed him for? But now he's given Amari Cooper, the wide receiver, Alabama's wide receiver who went to Oakland, really didn't pan out. He's in Dallas, and it looks like Amari Cooper just signed the richest wide receiver deal in wide receiver history, $60 million guaranteed. $100 million contract for Amari Cooper. So here's Dak. He's got the highest paid running back. He's going to have the highest paid wide receiver and Michael Gallup on the other side. He's going to be franchise tagged, which means he's got a 1-year contract. He wants a long-term contract, but he didn't sign it. So he is going to be amongst the highest paid quarterbacks in the league, at least amongst the 5 highest paid quarterbacks in the league, if I understand the definition of franchise tag. So what is Dak going to do? And I think the answer is going to be he's going to wait till next year to decide what kind of contract he gets, putting at risk the idea of getting a long-term deal if he doesn't have a great year or if the Cowboys don't make the playoffs.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting.
I think it's the worst advice an agent could have given.
Mike McCarthy's got a lot of pressure on him. I mean, anytime you're a pressure in the head coach in the NFL, it's a lot of pressure.
But he's going to have Prescott for a year.
But you're going to have the highest paid running back and the highest paid wide receiver.
If they don't win.
They're not. I can tell you that right now.
Why aren't they going to win?
Because there's teams that are better than them in the NFC.
Not the Giants. Not the Redskins.
I didn't say their division.
I'm not even sure the Eagles
I'm talking about there's better teams in the NFC than them.
The first deal is to win the division, get a good record.
Well, they didn't do that last year.
Game.
So.
No, they lost it on the last weekend of the season. And you're right, they weren't that good last year.
They're not. So, they're the most overrated team I think I've seen in years.
I thought you said New England was. Make up your mind.
Well, they're in the AFC.
Okay, well, you said overrated team.
I think the two America's teams, whatever you want to call them, they're not as good as people think.
Well, it looks like the money is flowing freely.
Scroll down a little bit there, Taylor, on the Facebook Live comment here, brought to you by Pound Hurt, your preferred personal injury attorneys. Trey Jones says, morning, guys. Could you imagine if Corona mania hit during football season? Well, let's hope we get this thing under control, because I was driving in today, JC, and they're talking about the Major League Baseball season not starting until after the regular All-Star break, which is mid to late July.
Yeah, I think that's crazy. I would expect them to start it in June if things get better. But QB, I mean, we're going to have fewer games, obviously.
But the problem with that is, okay, so let's just say that sports are on hold till July, late July. They're probably going to have to move the football seasons for both, because if you're not allowed to train and get your body ready to play football, you can't just show up. You're talking months and months in advance.
So why, if baseball starts in July, why wouldn't they be able to start training camp in July football?
Well, I'm just saying, but
football's number one,
right? But I'm saying, even if you start in July,
that's when that football starts.
But it does. But they're training months in advance, getting the body ready. You can't just show up in July and be ready to play in August.
Well, what are they doing now? Why wouldn't they be in the gym?
They're not. They're not allowed.
They're not at the football.
I know for a fact that the college athletes at the University of Florida football team, they're not allowed in the football workout facilities because the school is shut down. They are not allowed to go into any establishment. They have to work out at home.
Right, and as far as the NFL guys go, they're
they probably have their own gyms and stuff.
So
I'm talking about college.
I thought we were talking about NFL for 14 minutes.
Well, I'm just talking about football in general.
College.
It's still going to be hard.
No, I see that.
If you don't allow them to start working out as a team in May and late May, it's going to be tough. I'm telling you, because you have to get the body ready.
Well, and I think right now nobody's really thinking that far out. They just want to see how things go in the near term, because this thing is just getting worse and worse. So obviously you have to take really draconian measures almost in the sports world. That's happened, and it's not the end of the world, but it is certainly difficult for a lot of us. So I think you're right. I think and I'd also be willing to say that it could be sports on drugs in the fall. I mean, we could just get hammered with so much happening at once. We're talking about the Masters possibly in September, QB. Now we've heard that the Kentucky Derby, which of course is always in the first week in May, that has been canceled. The 146th run for the Roses has been postponed. I shouldn't say canceled, but postponed, and they're thinking about doing it on Labor Day weekend or somewhere around September 5th. So all of the things that could be hitting us and I talked about this yesterday a little bit about how we could just get a rush of sports.
How are we going to survive till then with no sports?
well, there's the beach. There is you could do chores around the house.
Yeah.
Lord knows you need
as long
to.
as they don't close golf courses, we're okay.
What?
I mean, think about it.
Well, yeah, okay, you're right. But I'm on a golf course, and if they take the pins out, I'm still gonna go out there.
Well, I understand that.
So
they got to mow
if
it,
you want
though.
to come out to my house, just let me know.
All right, we're going to take our first time out here. You're watching and listening to Pot Up with Matthews in the morning. Don't forget at 8:30.
You're right.
Don't forget at 8:30. You can take your weed eater out there, get your push mower, and you can do Paynes Prairie and your golf course. When we come back 8:30, don't forget Doug Johnson will join the program. We'll be right back.
Time out! Time out! Hey! Time out! Time out! Time out! There we go. Good.
We want to take this moment to thank all our sponsors who keep the show going and pay the bills.
Let's give them something to cheer for now.
Our Gridiron sponsors are Crime Prevention Security, small enough to serve you, large enough to care. Titan MRI, Gainesville's only locally owned and operated MRI facility. Gator's Dockside, wings, ribs, seafood, and beer. Peachland Dentistry, Gator Nation's #1 choice for dentistry in Port Charlotte and surrounding areas. Area Rug Masters, your #1 choice for rug cleaning. And Pound Hurt, preferred personal injury attorneys.
Our touchdown sponsors are Radware Promotional Materials, Doreen Wiebe Realtor, Caldwell Banker M.M. Parish, Gator BTW, Campus USA Credit Union, Celebration Point Town Center, Miapa Latin Cafe, Davis Gainesville Chevrolet, Okita America Martial Arts and After School, Tropical Smoothie Cafe, The Keys Grill and Piano Bar, UF Mover Guys, The Digital Mortgage Guy, Adams Ribs, Cloud9 Spa, Wrap Spot, Cold Stone Creamery, Gator Dominoes, Celebrate Primary Care, Center State Bank, and Style Cuts.
If you are interested in promoting your business on the show, you can visit our website, potupwithshane.com, and click on the advertise button or call Freddie Wiebe at 352-284-3733.
Again, thank you for all the great businesses that support the show. Please remember, if you like what we are doing here, thank our sponsors and support the businesses that support us.
Looking, still looking. He's going for the end zone. He's got a touchdown.
Welcome back to Pot Up with Matthews in the morning from the Crime Prevention Security System Studios. Large enough to serve you, small enough to care. John Cornell, Shane Matthews here at Center State Bank. We put business first. We are the largest community bank in the state of Florida and understand that small businesses need a community business partner that they can rely on. Center State has 5 convenient Alachua County locations to serve you better. To learn more, visit centerstatebank.com. Center State Bank, member FDIC.
Got some great Facebook Live posts brought to you by Pound Hurt, your personal injury attorneys. Listen, QB, today is March 17th.
Yeah, I just realized that.
It is, and that, of course, is St. Patrick's Day. And it is also the 2-year anniversary for me and my beautiful wife, Carmen, who got married in Ocean Springs, Mississippi. Exactly.
What do you got
2
planned
years
tonight,
ago
JC?
today.
What do you got planned?
So happy anniversary, babe. All right.
Y'all going down to the local Irish pub?
I don't know if it's going to be open. It might be, though. But I'll tell you, we'll figure something out fun to do. And you know, another thing about Tuesdays with us here at QB is that we usually have Jackie Spreads on, brought to you by Parkland Dentistry, Gator Nation's #1 choice for dentistry in Port Charlotte and surrounding areas here.
That
in the
would be
beautiful state of
Peachland
Florida.
Dentistry.
Peachland Dentistry. What did I call
You
it?
said it called Parkland.
Peachland Dentistry. I'm sorry. Joe?
Do they have a lot of peaches down
Sorry
there?
about that, Joe. I meant Peachland Dentistry. Of course he knows that. What?
They don't have a bunch of peaches down there. do they?
Well, I'll have to ask Joe what Joe's the dentist. I'll have to ask him what where that came from. But at any rate, we were going to have Jackie Spreads on Tuesdays and Thursdays, but obviously without any sports, there's nothing for Jackie Spreads to bet on except we could have wagers on the 3 primaries that are out. Of course, Biden probably will win all of them. Maybe Bernie will take one. I think in Florida the primary is still being held. But at William Hill, USA, the Pakistan Super League of Cricket, the semifinals are tomorrow. The Multan Sultans against the Peshawar Zalmi, the Karachi Kings versus Lahore Qalandars. You know, who you going with? I'm going to take Lahore over Karachi.
Cricket?
And Peshawar definitely
Cricket?
over Multan. Yeah.
You know they got a cricket field out at the Jonesville Park here?
I did not know.
They do.
Well, if you were worried about cricket, and we do have a large Indian and Pakistani population here in our world, in America, Peshawar is plus 115 over Multan. Multan is the favorite at minus 135. That's why I said Multan. And Lahore, the Qalandars, are plus 115, and the Karachi Kings are minus 135. I'm taking the upset. Give me Lahore. You want?
I'm going to go with the. I want the Kings and the Sultans.
Yeah,
We got a text here on the Titan MRI text line.
Sultan.
Joe asks, any good movies your listeners and viewers can recommend? We can become Siskel and Ebert here on whatever that guys. You know that show?
I liked A Field of Dreams. Obviously, it was a great run. No,
I'm just saying we can have our guys, people that watch and listen on Facebook Live, they can give some good shows, some good movies that people may want to watch.
But I was asking you, do you have one favorite sports movie?
Oh, a sports movie. That's not what he was asking. He's just talking about stuff you can watch now. Sports movie. I mean, you got to like Caddyshack.
I kind of did.
Yeah, I mean,
really.
it's old.
I watched it once. And
I never watch a movie more than once, ever.
Really?
I think it's stupid. How many times do you watch? How many times do you watch the freaking football game over when you know the results?
I watched some on the SEC network. I watched plenty of Alabama's win over. What? Jackie Spreads is rolling in here. What?
John says on Facebook Live, which is brought to you by Pound Hurt, your preferred personal injury attorney. John says golf outing today, over under at 97.
Who's shooting 97?
Well, if I take JC to certain courses, he will shoot 97.
No, I don't remember the last time I shot 97. What's this? Diane, does lack of workout mean more injuries or just a lackluster season?
More injuries. Whoa. More injuries.
Randy says, dang, boy, you look like your daddy. That's one of my old high school friends. Good old Randy Morgan. Thank you for reaching out, Randy. Buddy Martin, Netflix and Amazon Prime. This is death, because I will fall asleep. I will get lazy. I will get tired if I'm sitting on a couch binge watching movies. I can't. You can't do that, can you? I mean,
I definitely can't.
My body doesn't allow me to do that. I'm so, I'm always twitchy and movie. I can't do any of that, QB.
That's right. So we have Jackie. Bring Jackie Spreads in here.
Roll on in here. All
Jackie Spreads just joined us in the Crime Prevention Security System Studios.
Was Jackie scheduled to come in today?
Well, normally he is, but we don't have anything to talk about. But I'm sure he might have. Maybe he likes cricket.
The Sultans or the Kings. I think I'm going to ask Jackie Spreads if he's done any handicapping on the cricket, because they're not stopping over there in India, Pakistan. My God. Social distancing in those countries is literally
impossible. Do they have any cases over there?
It's impossible. I don't even know if they know. All right, Jackie, you got Peshawar against Multan. You got Lahore versus Karachi. There are the odds. Give us our two Pakistani Super League winners.
All right, folks. Here's what we call throwing darts. Here's what we call picking out of a hat. I reiterated the other day, I don't even know the rules of cricket. It's electric to watch, though, even with no fans, because these guys are going as hard as they possibly can.
Do we know they're not going to have fans in the stands?
Yeah, that's happened. They do have cases. Every country in the world now has cases. Greenland was the last one to get one, and they confirmed their first yesterday. But they've been playing cricket without any fans. I saw a clip. I'm sure everybody saw it last week.
So can we get two winners here?
I got the Multan Sultans, because how could you pick against that name? They're the Sultans of cricket. And then the second one,
He
the
took who I
second
had.
game, we got the Lahore Quandlers and the Karachi Kings. I'm going Multan Sultans and Karachi Kings because that's just
That's who I took, right?
With chalk in cricket,
I just went with the names.
I'm going with Lahore because I don't even know what a qualander is. What is a qualander?
Have him look it up.
Taylor, qualanders. It starts with a Q. Qalanders. Jackie Spreads brought to you by Peachland Dentistry, the Gator Nation's #1 choice for dentistry in Port Charlotte and surrounding areas. We are not practicing social distancing right now. Maybe I'll social distance over here because I know he doesn't get out. But so what's going on?
Well, this week's been a little rough. It's an understatement. There's been no sports. There's been really nothing for me to entertain myself with. I tried my hand at horse racing. That's the only thing still going on right now. Didn't work. I had to quit real quick.
That's that pari-mutuel wager. It's the worst.
It's so hard.
It's so bad. It's almost as bad as the lottery. It probably is as bad as the lottery.
So a qualander is among the saints, and I'm assuming this is not Catholic saints, some kind of probably Hindu saints. So among the saints are those persons who may enjoy freedom from the ties of bounds of time and space, and they have reached a very high level of spirituality. So.
All right, QB, I'm going to ask you in 6 hours what a qualander is.
I wasn't listening.
Oh my God!
I was reading.
I was
reading a Facebook Live comment from Rick, which is brought to you by Pound Hurt. He says, "Jackie, what are the odds of Shane cleaning the leaves out of my gutters?"
About as good as the odds as the New York Knicks winning the title this year. That's not going to happen. I had a little tidbit for you guys if we have time here. Last night I heard an interesting bet people are talking about right now is the Nets are 150 to 1 to win the title. They'd be the 7th seed right now, and if the league were to continue the playoffs in June or July or whenever it may be, Kevin Durant could be healthy. Kyrie Irving could be playing. They play the Raptors in the first round. The Raptors won't be practicing for a few months. There's no Kawhi Leonard there. Kevin Durant, 2-time Finals MVP. They could get all the way to the Eastern Conference Finals because the next round they play the winner of Boston and Philly. And who knows with those teams? Those teams could be great and they could be horrible. And then you got to assume the Bucks will be their next round, and Giannis's knee will have healed by then. And when the third round comes along, KD's going to be around and into shape, and they don't have to be led by Kyrie, and they just fired their coach. I know that doesn't work out all the time, but a lot of times teams fire their coach, and they come out and play better afterwards. They play harder afterwards. So that's an interesting bet to me, 150 to 1 for the Nets to win the title. It's a long shot, but it could happen if we do decide to continue the season.
Well, I was just going to say, Jackie, if we go through the summer in the doldrums, but we have this rush of sports when things start to get better in the fall or in August or September or October, I hope you have some crank saved up because we're going to get everything all at once, perhaps.
Definitely.
Think about that joy you're going to feel there.
Well,
I know I will.
it's going to be a feeling of joy, and it's going to be a feeling of being overwhelmed all at once.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty relatable in the sports world, just because any Gator fan can relate that when they're in an SEC championship or a national championship, that they're just overwhelmed by the whole week, the whole lead up to it, and then during the game, obviously, it's very stressful because it could go either way. So what I've been doing this week is mainly I've just been picking one retired player from a different era of basketball and watching all their highlights, and I'm just going to try to rank them at the end of the month. I did Steve Nash last night, Shaquille O'Neal the night before that. Tonight I think I'm going to dive into a little bit of Dirk Nowitzki action. We're desperate. This is desperate times, and we're calling for desperate measures. So maybe I'll write a book. I don't know.
But yeah.
You've got some time now, boss.
We're going to go, before we go to break, we're going to go to our play of the day. Our play of the day is brought to you by Area Rug Masters. Receive a BOGO, buy one, get one, rug cleaning when you mention the code Shane or JC. Call 352-448-5999. So if you're going to get your rugs clean, call these jokers up and mention Shane or JC. And our play of the day goes to the Arizona Cardinals because somehow they got a dang good deal getting, I think, the best receiver in the league in DeAndre Hopkins in a trade for the running back, David Johnson. I think, who's been hurt a lot. I think DeAndre, it's a great trade. Great trade. So our play of the day, brought to you by Area Road Masters, goes to the Arizona Cardinals.
And we want to thank Jackie Spreads for showing up. Brought to you by Peachland Dentistry, the Gator Nation's #1 choice for dentistry in Port Charlotte and surrounding areas. Thanks for coming in, my man. Good job. As always, hang in there. We'll get through this.
Stay safe, everybody.
All right.
You too, buddy.
We're going to take our second time out of the program. We'll come back. We'll have Doug Johnson talking Gator football. We'll be right back.
Oh, thank you, Jackie.
Of course, late start.
Timeout! 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 There we go. Good.
We want to take this moment to thank all our sponsors who keep the show going and pay the bills.
Let's give them something to cheer for now.
Our Gridiron sponsors are Crime Prevention Security, small enough to serve you, large enough to care. Titan MRI, Gainesville's only locally owned and operated MRI facility. Gator's Dockside, wings, ribs, seafood, and beer. Peachland Dentistry, Gator Nation's #1 choice for dentistry in Port Charlotte and surrounding areas. Area Rug Masters, your #1 choice for rug cleaning. And Pound Hurt, preferred personal injury attorneys.
Our touchdown sponsors are Radware Promotional Materials, Doreen Wiebe Realtor, Caldwell Banker M.M. Parish, Gator BTW, Campus USA Credit Union, Celebration Point Town Center, Miapa Latin Cafe, Davis Gainesville Chevrolet, Okita America Martial Arts and After School, Tropical Smoothie Cafe, The Keys Grill and Piano Bar, UF Mover Guys, The Digital Mortgage Guy, Adams Ribs, Cloud9 Spa, Wrap Spot, Cold Stone Creamery, Gator Dominoes, Celebrate Primary Care, Center State Bank, and Style Cuts.
If you are interested in promoting your business on the show, you can visit our website, potupwithshane.com, and click on the advertise button or call Freddie Wiebe at 352-284-3733.
Again, thank you for all the great businesses that support the show. Please remember, if you like what we are doing here, thank our sponsors and support the businesses that support us.
Looking, still looking. He's going for the end zone. He's got a touchdown.
Welcome back to Pot Up with Matthews in the morning from the Crime Prevention Security System Studios, large enough to serve you, small enough to care. John Cornell, Shane Matthews here on a Tuesday morning. We're going straight to the Titan MRI hotline now, and we're joined by former Gator quarterback Doug Johnson. Doug, how you doing, my man?
Good. Good morning.
How we doing? So, Doug, we're going to talk a lot of many different things today. But first, you're a local, homegrown boy here in Gainesville. Went to Buholtz High School.
He's a
What?
Bobcat.
He is a Bobcat.
Another
You're a
Bobcat we
Bobcat.
have
I
on
think he
here.
was a much better baseball
We
player
had
than
Lamar
you, though.
Thomas. How many Pascagoula Panthers we had on the air so far? Okay.
None.
Yeah.
We're,
Go
we're,
Cats.
we're a Gainesville,
CATS. Good
Gainesville
job,
show,
Doug.
JC. Doug, so local Buholtz kid, played in both sports. First of all, what other offers did you have out there football-wise, and what made you choose the University of Florida?
Pretty much it was across the board. I mean, it was all the way from USC to Notre Dame to, I mean, it was many nationally recognized programs, but I mean, I narrowed it down to the SEC. It's the best conference in football, and took visits to, Auburn and FSU, and almost took a visit to Tennessee, and this was right there in the mix where Coach was the first rumor of heading to the NFL after the '95 loss in the national championship. So, but he actually he called me out of class during the whole dog and pony show of being recruited, and he told me, he said, "Dougie, don't listen to media boys. I'm not going anywhere." Yeah. So, I mean, that really solidified where I was going. I mean, Florida was the premier program, especially throwing the football. So, and being from Gainesville, I mean, it just really wasn't even a decision. So.
Now, I also understand Shane mentioning how good you were playing baseball at Buholtz, and baseball was also in your picture too. Kind of tell us a little bit about how it worked out. Well, we all know you chose football, but what was the baseball opportunity that perhaps presented itself to you at that same time?
Well, I felt like I was always a better baseball player than football, but football just lured me. It fit my personality a little bit better, and just something about stepping in the huddle and 3rd and 8 away and having to get a first down. When people are 100,000 are screaming. I mean, it's kind of it's an awesome feeling. So it's baseball was definitely probably could have been a longer career, but football, there's just something about it just fit me better. And I was getting drug out of class every seventh period at Buell's doing workouts for all the clubs.
Yeah.
And, you know, it was one of those deals where I was projected to be a first round pick, but all the teams didn't want to, you know, spend a first round pick and spend first round money on a guy that I was very upfront and told everybody that I was going to play football at University of Florida.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I slipped to the second round, and the Rays, you know, they selected me in the second round. And
Nice.
I did it as long as I could until I really wanted to make a full-time commitment to football my senior year. So, you know, it was my path, and you know, I wouldn't have traded it for anything. And it was, you know, obviously there was opportunities in both, but football was just fit me better.
Yeah.
How difficult was it? Because you did play in the minor leagues for the Devil Rays, you know, and I want to say you were doing that in the summer before football practice and things like that. How difficult was it juggling both sports?
I think it was. I wouldn't recommend it. I mean, it's especially the quarterback position. If you played if you were an athlete, you know, playing defensive back or receiver, or even running back, I mean, I think maybe you could juggle it, but trying to do the things that you should be doing at the quarterback position in the off season, then, you know, being absent from that, having to travel around the minor leagues, it was very difficult. I think it stymied the baseball side, and it stymied the football side. So, I mean, just try to show up in spring training and to get into baseball shape, and to seeing trying to hit a curveball and trying to hit a 98-mile-an-hour fastball within 3 weeks, and then being shipped off to, you know, to play whatever, you know, high AA or wherever I was being shipped to. That was difficult in itself. And then, you know, vice versa, trying to show back up to you know, two-a-days a week before, and trying to jump back into things and get back into football shape. I mean, it was very difficult, very demanding. I definitely wouldn't recommend it, especially at that position. You know, I played with some athletes who did it. You know, Ricky Williams was in the same minor league system with the Phillies when I was there every year.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, he could juggle it. I mean, it's not the same situation in playing running back. I mean, you just got to know what, you know, even to the right, odd to the left, and know how to pass block. I mean, that's pretty much it. So, you know, there's not a lot to work on, you know, compared to the quarterback position, and being around the guys too. I think that's very important too, as working in the off season. I mean, I got as much in it as I could with the spring ball, but I left immediately after the spring game, and I was gone. So until a week before two-a-days started.
So Doug, you know, you went on, you played in the NFL with Atlanta, and you were basically committed to football. Certainly, tell us a little bit of some of your best memories playing with Florida. Give us a good Spurrier story if you have one. Anything that the listeners would really be interested in learning about you as you were at Gator. And then, of course, two-part question, in the NFL, playing in that league.
Yeah, you know, University of Florida, coming into a time where it wasn't about winning. It was just about how much you were to win by. I mean, I think that was underappreciated going into the system. And, you know, if I had to, you know, and Coach Spurrier, that was probably one of the main driving forces of why he left, because literally I remember all the wins coming in the locker room, and they really weren't celebrated. You know, I think the main difference when I left the University of Florida and then my rookie year in the NFL, I remember playing, you know, week one as a rookie. We played, I can't remember who we played, but we were in the Dome. It was an awful game.
Yeah.
Both teams, you know, played bad. We ended up winning. And I was used to, it wasn't about the win. It was about how you conducted yourself during the win, and how, you know, and how close to excellence you achieved during the game. That's what you were judged on. When I remember going into the locker room in Atlanta my rookie year and seeing all these grown men, because when you're 21 years old, let's just be real, and you're playing with 31-year-olds, it's a totally different, you know, gap in just maturity. When I'm watching these grown men, you know, run around high-fiving, chest hugging and all of that because we won by, you know, a couple points, you know, it kind of blew me away. I remember talking to Coach Reeves, and he always told me, he goes, a win is a win. A win is a win. It doesn't matter how you get it. But, you know, take a step back a year from that. I remember winning games, and it felt like we were going to be punished, that Monday, But that was just the way, the expectations. And and Coach Spurrier and the program and the guys before me, that's what they set. And so I think I went into that with blinders on, and it's hard to explain to a recruit like, hey, it isn't about winning here. If you're not expecting to win, don't come here. It's about we want to win that last game we play and let it mean something. Not a Orange Bowl that means nothing, right? Not a Citrus Bowl that means nothing. Maybe that works for some programs, but back in those days, an Orange Bowl to finish third meant nothing. You're basically a failing season. So, but Coach is man, awesome. Just it's affected my life in so many ways as far as learning how to deal with things off the field and just real life. So, I think he instilled the fact of just the competition part. I mean, I'm a very competitive guy, and a lot of times people, would look at he and I, communicating on the sideline, but he and I were a lot alike when it came to that. We were very, very competitive, but he's just he taught me that, bring your own confidence to the game, and that's and turning the page. I mean, he really taught me how to do that. Coach wasn't, Shane, this Coach wasn't a rah-rah guy. He wasn't a data boy guy. If you got one data boy, in a game, that was pretty good. I remember, my sophomore year, I think the first good game I got out of him was at Kentucky, which I don't know what game that was in the season. We went up there and threw 5 touchdowns and we blew him out. And I remember that was the first one. He was like, Dougie, great game today. That was the first one.
Well,
that was it.
I remember your personality being very electric. You were a fiery guy on the field playing football. I learned more about that when I watched you miss putts at Adena when we played golf together, and how excitable you were when you couldn't get home in 2 on a par 5. So I got to know you a lot better after your playing career. But during your playing career, I remember, and you can correct me on some of this, but I remember you and Spurrier sometimes going after each other on the sidelines trying to figure out what the best strategy to score was. Now, did you see that as part of your experience at Florida, or how did that go for you?
Oh, yeah. I mean, definitely. I mean, I remember my rookie year during preseason in Atlanta, going in, doing everything I could to shine, and multiple times we'd get within 10-yard line going in, and I'm checking off to throws and hitting them, which is not what you do in the NFL. You run the ball, and I remember Coach Reeves.
Well, Dan Reeves for sure.
Yeah. Coach Reeves is very ultra conservative, and I remember from where I've come from, but it was one of those deals where I wanted to be the one to control it and to let it go and not, and I had that kind of mentality Coach had. You hand it off to a running back, you could fumble. So we ran the ball at Florida just to buy some time on figuring out what the next throw was going to be. So he's at the end of the day, it was awesome, and he's a fiery guy. Yeah, we had some communication. A lot of it was Coach was great about. He didn't care if they knew what we were running. It didn't bother him. We didn't try to hide signs. I think if you could study our sideline antics and figure out our plays. I mean, really. I mean, it didn't take that long to figure out if it was a long hand signal, it was a pass play. If it was short and if it was quick, we were running the rock. Yeah. So, but in a lot of times it was Coach, they know what we're doing, and the response was, I don't really give a damn if they know what they're doing. Well, they still got to cover us. So, but no, I mean, the thing about Coach, he was into the game. He was visualizing it through, whoever was behind center, and he took he was an ultimate competitor, and he took pride in the way his quarterbacks played, and he took it personal if we didn't play well. Yeah. But on the flip side, we could play well, and if another position didn't, he'd still feel okay. Quarterbacks are doing their job. So, it was challenging in the sense where you had no filter. You had no filter from, your head coach, where every other system you had a quarterback's coach, an offense coordinator, and a head coach. When at Florida, all three were it's the same, the same guy. So I think in any situation that can be challenging. I mean, hell, it's challenging in a marriage when you got to be around somebody 5 or 6 hours constantly a day. Much less your head coach is demanding and the type that coach was. But I tell you, it was I wouldn't have traded it for the world. And now even more, we have it's an awesome relationship. I mean, he'll call me out of the blue and we'll just talk, and he'll have that abrupt hang up like Shane, like he has.
Well,
yeah,
and
he's
and
done.
it's great.
He's done,
and I love it. And
Yeah,
I love when his name pops up on my cell phone. I love taking those calls.
Yeah. We're speaking with Doug Johnson, former Gator quarterback. Doug, we got a text here on the Titan MRI text line from Sally. She wants to know what your most memorable moment as a Gator. I think I know what it is, but I want to hear it from you.
Everybody goes back to the throw to Kwesi, but I think the platform set with the first real big game that I played in, which was my true sophomore year when we beat Tennessee. I mean, that was a game where Peyton and Tennessee had big plans for that year, but we were able to play well as a team, and that probably felt better than any win at Florida or any one-time play, because I felt like Tennessee was a better team than we were, and we just played well as a unit. And it was just, watching that game was it's a great game to watch. But obviously the anytime you can beat Florida State is, feels good, right?
No doubt about it.
Especially now, but, the Kwesi throw, everybody remembers that, but I think there's a lot of games I played in, a lot of wins, but I think that Tennessee game was probably the most special to me.
Well, is that the one you thought he was going to say?
Yeah. Well, no, the one I thought I was going to say was the play to Kwesi against Florida State.
Perez, yeah.
You've been a local kid here, grew up in the Boys Club. You're very involved with raising money for the Boys and Girls Club of Alachua County. I want you to be able to talk about your fishing tournament, Reeling for Kids. If we're going to put up the link on our site here, how many years you've been doing it, how much money you've raised, and how important that event is to you.
Yeah, so this is our they just kind of run together, 16th year, something like that. We're the largest fundraiser for the Boys and Girls Club here in Gainesville. We just completed about a $450,000 renovation there at the club, and you can see it. You drive by
the Northwest Boys Club.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we just basically we refinished the entire site, put new fields in. We now have 3 fields, all with lights. So it's that's passionate. I'm passionate about it. That's a place where I grew up. I think it affects a lot of kids that wouldn't have a chance without a place to go to. So this year's tournament's June 5th and 6th. It's obviously in Steinhatchee. It's where we've had it since year 1. It's a great event. It's a 2-day fishing tournament. It's inshore, offshore. We give a lot of money away. It's a fun event. I feel like it's an event that a lot of people from Gainesville and surrounding areas kind of escape to, because Steinhatchee is one of those places where people kind of let their hair down, and it's a fun venue. But in the same token, we're raising a lot of money. I think we'll raise every year close to a couple $100,000. And we just pump it back into the club, and it's great. We're trying to improve in my mind, a cornerstone of the community, a place where a lot of people use, a place where I grew up in and met a lot of friends. And I think somewhere where Gainesville needs to take pride, and like I said, as a cornerstone of our community.
Well, I can relate to that, Doug. I played baseball there when they had Bronco and Pony League and Senior League during the summer for high school. We played Senior League baseball, and now basically it's a football place, and that's great for kids, and certainly the Southeast Boys Club as well. So, we're really excited that you continue to help and get this money to those facilities, because that place is
Needs it.
it's been and it's been around for so long. I mean, I'm older than both you and Doug, and I'll never forget the Northwest Boys Club and being able to spend most of my summers and playing baseball there. So,
Hey, Doug, I know you're involved now with your son's travel baseball team. How you enjoy doing that, working with the young kids, and how many times have you been booted out of a game so far?
Well, I try to set a precedence of learning how to turn the page and not try to get too animated, because you're not going to win balls and strike calls, right? So, but I enjoy it. I think, speaking baseball specifically, I think it's the best sport, example-wise, to teach you how to fail. And I tell my kids, we've got a group of 12 that are as talented as it gets, right? So it's the travel team of the, big tryout every year, and we take the best 12, and this is our Cooperstown team as well. So, but I try to teach them, if one thing, I don't really care about wins and losses of a 12-year-old baseball team. I don't remember any games that I played in it as a 12-year-old, but what I do remember is I remember the guys I played around. So I try to teach, hey, be a good teammate, pick the guy up. Baseball is a game of failure. Everybody's going to go through it. And if you guys can learn how to fail and turn the page and not, wear your emotions on your sleeves and learn how to turn the page and your body language is right, then I've accomplished something as a coach. So that's really what I try to dive into. Not really the schematics of, swing patterns and just the techniques. I'm more worried about the mental aspect of it, because if they can accomplish that and learn how to, move on and deal with failing in baseball, because baseball is a tough grind compared to football, because football is the next play. Here we go. Right. Baseball, you got to think about it for 3 innings, if something, if you boot a ball, everybody knows that was your fault. You can't blame it on a left guard that whiffed.
And then how does that affect you at the plate when your confidence is shot and you're still thinking about it, and some guy zips a 0-2 pitch right by the outside corner, and you're still worried about that ball you let go?
Absolutely. You're still thinking about, you booted the ball at short right. the inning before. So that's kind of the things I harp on. And I enjoy it. It's, I think it's one of the reasons I didn't get into coaching or any of that is I wanted to be around my kids and be involved in them when they're, at this age. And so that's what I'm diving into. And it's a whole lot of fun.
Got a last thing here for you, Doug. Got a text here from Daryl on a Titan MR text line. He says, can you ask Doug if he's been doing any fishing lately?
I have not, because my life revolves around travel baseball, and then my daughter's in travel volleyball.
Yeah,
and
that's what you are
so now. Tara and I are we a lot of times we're one's heading north and one's heading south on the weekend. So I have no hobbies. No hobbies. So
it's business it's business and child Uber.
That's right. It's Johnson Group. It's Johnson Group during the week. It's baseball on the weekends, and then reeling for kids. And
that's good. There you go.
Well, Doug, we appreciate you joining the show, buddy.
Good stuff, Doug.
A lot of luck for the fishing tournament. I know it's a great event. I know a lot of people enjoy going out there, but we'll talk to you soon. Good luck with your son's travel team and when y'all get back to playing.
And daughters.
Yep.
All right, that's right. Don't leave that out.
I know, but you're not coaching that team. I know how it is when you coach a team.
I got you, Doug.
Right.
All right, buddy.
All right, that's Doug Johnson joining us on the Titan MRI hotline.
Yeah, that guy is something else. He is a great athlete, and boy, he is so involved in the community. So it's great to have Doug join us, and we'll have him again. Breaking news, as we mentioned early in the show about Tom Brady and our inclination that he would not be a Patriot, he has just announced 2 minutes ago that he will not be signing with the New England Patriots.
Well, I told you that on the show months ago.
But
Celebration Point is where Butterballs and all these other Tom Brady haters can go celebrate with premium brands like Bass Pro Shop, Palmetto Moon, Skechers, Starbucks, the Keys Grill and Piano Bar, Select Shades, Regal Cinemas, and coming soon, the HBC's new restaurant, Spurrier's Gridiron Grill. We will see you at Celebration Point, where the Gators and all the Tom Brady haters come to celebrate.
Tom Brady haters. Unless he goes to Tampa Bay, they're going to turn into
love him.
Tom Brady lovers.
Well, remember, he's going to stop by when he's driving the U-Haul, and he's going to stop at Celebration Point.
Just think, we got Tampa Bay and Tom Brady, TB.
Yes, today's show's a wrap brought to you by WrapSpot. A vehicle wrap from WrapSpot will give your business years of brand recognition and increased sales. Call WrapSpot today. We'll see you tomorrow. Steve Spurrier Jr., better known as Bubba, will join us.